Hi, I'm Rob Love. I am an elder at Emmanuel Baptist Church, and I want to take a moment to give a response to a question that's been submitted to the Ask an Elder section of the Gospel to Glory resource. The question comes from John, who asks about Romans chapter 2, verse 8 and 9. These verses say, "But for those who are self-seeking and do not obey the truth, but obey unrighteousness, there will be wrath and fury. There will be tribulation and distress for every human being who does evil, the Jew first and also to the Greek." And the question from John is Romans 2, 8 through 9 speaking about Jewish and Gentile evildoers receiving physical tribulation and distress, or eternal tribulation and distress? If this is speaking of eternity, would that mean that not all Jews will enter into heaven in the end days, or even New Jerusalem? Well, the answer to the question, first part, is that it is speaking about eternal distress, eternal destruction. Romans 1 through 3 are revealing the despair and the lostness of man. These verses are talking about the destruction, being apart from Christ, being outside of his righteousness, being eternally under the fury and the wrath of God. Paul is in the process of eliminating religious self-righteousness, and there's never been a people more religiously zealous than the Hebrew people are. As Paul eliminates this, he's addressing an undertone for the Hebrew people. That is, at the final judgment of God, there is a belief in Judaism that Abraham himself will stand at the judgment seat. And just in case a Jew is judged to be guilty, to be condemned eternally apart from God, that Abraham would catch that from happening and make sure that that Jew is entered into eternal life. So this belief is underlying what Paul's addressing to the Jewish people when he's eliminating religious self-righteousness. So these verses are clear that anyone who continues to obey unrighteousness will be under the wrath and the fury of God. Romans 3, Paul goes on and he continues that thought about their eternal destruction and separation from God. In Romans 3:1, "Then what advantage has the Jew? Or what is the value of circumcision?" And he says, "Much in every way." To begin with, the Jews were entrusted first with the oracles of God. They had the scriptures. What if some were unfaithful? Does their unfaithfulness nullify the faithfulness of God? By no means. Let God be true, and let everyone be a liar, as it is written. Is the fact that ethnic Israel not receiving unmerited grace when they are apart from Christ making God to be dishonest? Absolutely not. God has provided everything necessary for a covenant, everlasting relationship between himself and his people in Christ. However, anyone who rejects Christ and continues in works of unrighteousness will be separated eternally from God.